right. Welcome back to All Hitches, NoVA's #1 football podcast. Coach Mesa, how's it going, brother?
It's going well. It's going well. I was thinking you and I are both holiday guys, right? I mean, we both like. I decorate for Christmas the first week of the first or second week of November. Like we're holiday guys. I enjoy the holiday season, but I think
Sure.
it gets a point where I'm just tired of the cold. Bring on the warm weather, right? I mean, I don't know. I love the holidays. I love when starts getting cool for football. I mean, that's part of it too, right? It's football weather. I mean, everything's all pretty outside with all the decorations, but I'm over it. I'm ready. I'm ready for some sun. I'm ready to walk around and I just kind of be warm. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you asked for it, my friend, and I have delivered. I brought the warm air. The weather we have is fantastic. A nice 70 degrees outside, today.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice all week. I looked at the 15-day forecast.
Okay.
I don't see it below like 58.
Yeah, it's nice.
We're mostly in the 60s and 70s. That's phenomenal.
And it makes it easier to wash because lately the wash has been full of like sweatpants and sweatshirts and all that other stuff, and now back to not wearing that kind of stuff. So
well, not mine, my friend, because we had a little hiatus, and as you know, I just got back from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And so my dirty clothes pile was beach wear and swimming trunks.
Yeah.
And all that good stuff, man.
Yeah, way down in Kokomo, right? So that's where you're at?
That's right. It's I think it's the first word of the song, Aruba. It's the first word of the song. Never been to Aruba before. I'm sure some of our audience has been. It was great. I've told you I recommend Aruba now to anyone that'll listen. You can drink the water.
Yeah.
It's safe, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm a gringo. They speak English. You combine those.
I don't think you're a gringo. I don't think that's how that works.
My grandma used to call me El Gringo. Look, you combine all three of those things, and that makes for really. Two more things. It's 80 some odd degrees every day, dry. It hardly ever rains. It's below the hurricane belt.
Okay.
I don't think it's anything. You put all that together, you can drink the water. Drinking the water alone is stock up in my book.
Warm water. Was the water warm when you
water was warm? It's Caribbean, so it was nice and still.
Yeah.
My wife got kind of badly burned. I made out like a champ. I did good. I know when she got burnt too. I'll tell you what. They had these like out in the water by the hotel and stuff that we were at. The water's so still. They have these big, like almost like raft looking plastic thingamajigs, big circle, and there'd be like 5 or 6 of them out there. And it wasn't too many. It wasn't a very crowded beach, but they'd be taken. They'd always be taken, and you could always tell people kind of hanging by somebody in the raft. Right, yeah. The minute they get off, they're taking that thing. I finally got the raft one day, and I called Nicole over. Nicole got in the raft, and we're both kind of just hanging out in there. And I said, I got to go to the bathroom. I was like, I need some water. I said, just hang tight. She said, well, give me some sunblock. I said, yeah, I got you. I got the sunblock. You get burned when you're out in the water too long,
Yeah.
But she's out in the middle of the water, the raft thing. I ended up taking my sweet time. I checked my phone. There was a bathroom right in the Marriott area. But I went to the nicer bathrooms. I took a little detour. By the time I got back, I think she almost melted.
Well, there's no such thing as waterproof suntan lotion, or sunscreen, like suntan lotion.
Old school, baby.
I just dated myself. Sunscreen, right? There's no waterproof sunscreen. Like you have to keep on reapplying, if not.
Yeah, I mean they say that some is water resistant.
Yeah.
But you're right, and she definitely was hurting after. I mean, she didn't get too badly burned, but it was definitely. I made out. I came up with the lotion that was nicely applied, fresh. She was like, "Where have you been?" I was like, "Oh, I took my time. But it was a great trip. I highly recommend Aruba.
Sounds like you had a great time.
I had a great time, but we weren't the only ones who had a great time.
We were not.
No, we were not. There were some people having a good time at the St. James this past Saturday, my friend.
Yeah. What a really good event. It was a great time. I mean, Really well run. Those of you guys who saw the Overton interview kind of said how he's going to do it, and that's how he did it. They ran it just like a practice. They started off with what looked like a special team pods. Every skill was doing special team pods except for the linemen, and a lot. I mean, they had about 80 people out there. I think we counted. I think about 80 plus people.
Yeah, it was close. It was close to 100. Close to
close to
100.
100 people. Yeah. Um, really well organized. I'll tell you this too. Watching them, you would not have guessed that those kids had never practiced together. What I thought was really interesting. They all seem to. I mean, obviously these are football kids who all have gone through practice before. They're all high school kids who run through a high school practice. Um, a lot of energy on the field, a lot of coaches. Well, probably the most coaches on the staff that I think I've seen.
Yeah, yeah.
As far as staffs go,
That's I agree with you on that. That's true.
Really well run. And considering the fact that, I mean, I think they had a line of maybe 9 quarterbacks. Am I wrong? About 9 quarterbacks?
Yeah, 9, 10 quarterbacks.
I mean, that's hard. That's hard to do, right? I mean, it's hard to get reps in when you have that many kids in there, trying to get reps in. But it was a good time, and obviously the St. James is a really good facility. What they had going on there, and I really was impressed with the event.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was great. We'll get more into detail with who was there and that kind of thing in a second. But just my overall takeaway, right? Like you said, organized, well run, well attended, well coached.
Yeah.
A lot of coaches out there. I mean, we talked to Coach, Dio for a while, and he was able to he was kind of in and out, right? Popping in and out of drills.
Yeah.
But he had enough guys, and we talked to him in the interview that he wanted to be two or three deep, right? Every position group. And he was to the point where, he was able to kind of bounce around, right? And not have to just stay in one group of the quarterbacks or one group of the receivers or whatever. I very impressed. We got to see some people we knew in the audience, people that we knew that were there.
Yeah.
Shout out to our guy Andre. Shout out to Dark Visors.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jamar. Shout out to a lot of people that we saw there.
Coach Issa was there who arranged a lot of stuff from. He was
Coach
great.
Issa, Coach Wheeler.
Yeah.
And all the coaches over there. At St. James, they were all, great and did a great job. And St. James did a good job. They were, good hosts, right?
Yeah,
they had a little snack area for us,
Yeah. No,
we never turned down a good snack.
Yeah, you can tell. I never turned
But it was, and like I said, we're gonna get the names here in a minute of people that kind of, that we thought, right, it kind of impressed us in a little bit. We'll get to that. We got Adam Schefter of NoVA joining us in a little while.
Yeah.
He was there, another guy that was there, and he had, like Adam Schefter does, he had a ballpoint pen and a notepad, getting calls from agents when breaking deals were happening. I mean, Adam Schefter's always on point. You know that.
Yeah. And we saw a lot of skill out there. A guy who really stood out to me was a guy that we liked for a long time from Mount Vernon is Matthew Moret. Man, that kid is lightning quick. I had no idea. I mean, we had seen him play. We'd seen some of his film, but I mean, to me, he really stood out. I mean, as far as he looked really skilled. He looked really skilled.
Let me piggyback off of Moret from Mount Vernon. Absolute stud.
Yeah.
Like you said, I had never seen him play in person.
Right.
And he reminded us of a young Chris DeBritney, like you said, from Woodson. And I like that.
Who's now at Villanova.
Yes, a former Woodson guy. Walk on at Villanova. Shout out Chris DeBritney, who's a listener of the show.
Yeah.
And now he walk on at Villanova, and now he's fighting for a starting job over there.
Yeah. Chris is our guy. Chris,
right.
Those are guys who never had a chance to see I'm a huge Chris DeBritney fan. I mean, that kid works for everything he has.
Yeah, he did.
With his 10.0 GPA or whatever he has. That kid's really smart. That kid's smarter than us put together. That's not saying very much. But.
Yeah, times two. Put together times two. But yeah, so Moret, we got Adam Schefter joining us here shortly. But yeah, Moret, I was extremely, there he is.
Yeah.
The Adam Schefter of NoVA. No one does it better. No one circles the wagons of Northern Virginia kids playing football better than Carl J. Frederick, folks. PrepRedzone. What's going on, fellas? No, not much. Perfect timing. We're kind of breaking down some of the stock up guys that we saw at the I say the combine, but at the evaluation, the tryouts. And we were just talking about who I know we all love, Matthew Moret from Mount Vernon.
Yeah, Matthew too. In the article I wrote today for PrepRedzone.
Oh, all
Oh,
right.
so you had Moret. Moret was in there, right? Yeah, Moret caught that.
Yeah.
When they went full team. I only saw one guy score, and that was Moret.
Yeah, I put that in my article today too. That video you got of that play too. I believe that was from the young quarterback Gutierrez. I was speaking with the St. James staff and you guys and the coaches on hand. He was really impressive. And as you guys know, these last couple of years, he's been one of the best receivers in the state. And this is just going to be a potentially great opportunity for him with the St. James Academy.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think we've heard any official announcements on who's coming, who's going. But if he's there, obviously he's interested.
Right. And I think what you're going to see soon, right? My guess is nothing that I know, but my guess is you're going to start seeing guys putting offers, right?
Yeah.
On social media, you're going to start seeing players putting up offers. Watch. I got that feeling.
Yeah, within the next week, I would expect that. It was, and the quarterback who threw that to Moret, that you guys tweeted that out too. That was Antonio Gillen. I might be pronouncing his last name wrong, but they really like him too. He's about 5'10", class 2028, 4.0 GPA. He was really impressive. They got some other quarterbacks
where's he out of? Where did he go last year?
Hang on, that's what I'm pulling up. I think he was in Hayfield.
That was the tough part because okay, yeah, that was him. Okay, so he was French's backup, and they had mentioned that they liked him. They liked him a lot.
Yeah, they do. They really do. He's a kid. I mean, he's the one who threw that pass. You guys tweeted it out too.
Starting from the top, I mean, just going. I guess I go alphabetical since my list is alphabetical, and you can jump in there with some guys that stood out to you. I know Mason and I kind of agreed on these guys. One, starting from the top, Antoine Barnes. Oh, my God, that guy's a stud. And he's got offers already, right? Mason, where'd you say he had offers?
Yeah. Liberty, I think he got a one from Liberty. I couldn't find his other offer.
I believe it's Old Dominion. Antoine Barnes out of North Stafford. North Stafford, if you guys don't know, has some dudes. I mean, coming back next year, and he was one of them. But now, I mean, that may not be official. He's actually going to be in my second article. So to catch you guys up to speed, I did like a standout article today with PrepRedzone, with about 8 players, and he was going to be on part 2. But Barnes is a stud. He has two Division I offers already, and he looked the part on Sunday as well.
Yeah,
he looked really impressive.
Yeah, the real deal. Another guy, Kamani Bridge, 10th grader, DB / receiver. He stood out to us. They were pretty high on him. What was that?
Yeah.
He already has 3?
He has 3 offers already. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, he is in my article. It came out I just posted this like an hour ago.
Look at that. I didn't cheat. We didn't cheat. We didn't look at we could have done that. Could have done the Cliff Notes. But we did not. This was our own eyeballs at work here, Carl. This is great minds think alike is what this is. Great scouts think alike.
Bridge might be the top defensive back, not only in the class of 2028 and all of Virginia already. Like he has a Virginia Tech offer. He's a Power 5 or I should say Power 4 football player.
Wow.
Where did he go?
Good.
I forgot where did he go last year?
He was at Hayfield last year.
He was an Hayfield guy. Okay. Young buck.
Yeah, and he's already got a couple offers. He's gonna look good when he's there next year. I mean, if it's officially announced. Yeah. Another kid too. I know they were really high on offense. He's a defensive lineman. He played for Eleanor Roosevelt. No, excuse me, Old Mill High School in Maryland. Sean Tyler.
The rising sophomore, right? The kid's is that the one that he's only a rising sophomore?
Yeah, you see, that's what I was trying to get that clarify what class that kid was in. I know they really like him, Sean Tyler, and he looks it. He doesn't when you see him up close. Unlike a lot of linemen, he doesn't have he looks like a college lineman. There's not a lot of body fat on him already, which is impressive for his age.
I think he's a 28. I do think he's a 28.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had it wrong. They got to update his. I got to update his PrepRedzone account. I thought he was a rising senior, but yeah, they like him a lot. He's 6'2", 285 already. You guys saw him up close.
I mean, he passed the eyeball test. I think me and Dash were standing there, and I was like, "Oh, who is that?"
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you who passed the eyeball test. There's two guys right when Mason and I arrived, and right away Mason looks at me and says, "Look," because Dio had told us in our interview that linemen, right, got to find linemen. They got to dig deep in the scouting and find some quality linemen. And Mason said, "Look at that guy and that guy." And it was big number 74. He was wearing Maxwell Bailey. Bailey. And then he was with Ian Jackson, who was wearing 72. These guys were mountains. Okay. They were mountains. Ian Jackson
out of Potomac Falls, right?
Potomac Falls, the son of Seahawk, great Seattle Seahawk, Daryl Jackson.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was. We got to talk to Daryl Jackson for a while out in the lobby. He was wearing a Seahawks hat, and we had the Raiders. I'm a diehard Raider fan. We just signed Geno, so I saw the Seahawk hat, and I'm like, I didn't know it was Daryl Jackson.
Comment.
I said, hey, look, I said, we got your guy, and then that kind of we started talking, and then the two young men, they had to leave early, so they came out, and we saw, and Mason's like, oh, they're the two big guys we saw in there. We like these guys a lot, and he was appreciative. And he asked for our information for the show because they're out in Loudon, and as we know, we haven't crossed into the Loudon. We hit Arlington, we hit Alexander, we hit Fairfax, we hit PW. We've been kind of struggling with the Loudon thing. We're coming for you, Loudon. We're coming for you.
And if anybody out there knows the people who run Loco Sports, we've been trying to get in contact with them. If you can shout them out and see if they can contact us, we'd really like to talk to them and try to bring them into the fold.
Yeah, Loco Sports not responding to the DMs. We're going to give them a break and say they didn't see it. They didn't see the DMs. They're not ignoring the DMs. But if they are ignoring, then we're going right to Loudon. We're putting on the hard hats, and we're going we're getting in the tanks. We're going to Loudon. We're taking over Loudon. Like Shawn Michaels and X-Pac taking over WCW. We're going to take over Loudon. We're going to bang on the door and say, we're here, Loco Sports. We're taking it over. Don't make us
good, Dash. That's good, but that was actually Triple H. Shawn Michaels was hurt at the time. But, I get where you're going with that, But yeah,
don't make us do it, Loco Sports. Don't make us go out there and take over live. We don't want to do it. We want to work together.
I should talk to Coach Woods. He's taking over the Loudon Sports Academy. They're doing a very similar thing. It looks like that St. James is doing for Prince Williams County. I talk to him often. I loved him at Virginia Academy, and he's taking a new role there. I talk to him. He loves you guys, so I could shoot him a DM tonight.
It's a good idea because we do. If they do a combine or an eval, we definitely want to go to that as well.
Exactly. Yeah, and he's a good dude. I'll talk to him, and we could go above Loco Sports if they won't get back to you guys.
All right. Well, we're going to give them a break now. We're assuming they didn't see it. They didn't see the DM, but they're going to see it now, and they're going to respond. A little strong arm in here. All right. I'm going alphabetical on my list, and we know this young man really well. We're all big fans. D'Angelo Duarte. Wow, he was a stud last year for AC, wasn't he?
Yeah. No, he was the one-man gang eventually that kind of almost turned the AC season around. That's not right. I mean, the guy had that when they beat West Springfield. I mean, they were piping hot.
Yeah,
nobody wanted to see that team in the playoffs.
Yeah, he was really carrying the load. He's a stud. I mean, whether he ends up at St. James or back at AC or wherever, he's going to be fun to watch. Because he'll be a junior this year coming up, right?
I believe that is looking at it. Yep, that is correct.
Yeah, absolute stud. We're back to linemen too. Kyer Alexander's another guy they really like. He's a 2026er. He played at Eleanor Roosevelt High School in Maryland last year as a junior. He was one of the state leaders in sacks. I believe he finished with double-digit sacks on the year. But if you guys stole him, he's a big freak of nature off the edge, and he's the type of guy that Coach Jeffrey Overton, running the defense, he's going to love having, like a similar role that he had Ian Hall in last year, rushing the passer. This guy could really do some damage.
And I think I know I've said before. I don't want to preface. We have no idea where these kids are if these kids are going to St. James or not. We're just talking about the kids we saw at the evaluation. So I mean,
Right.
And there were a lot of other good players. Like I don't want to. You're talking about 100, some odd kids, right? And these are the ones that stuck out to us that we knew.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that every kid there, other than these guys, laid an egg. They could have done great things too in their drills, and we didn't see it. There were so many kids, and there's only between the three of us 6 eyeballs. Yeah. So that doesn't mean other guys didn't stand out as well. This is just the ones that we happen to see.
There's more like 5 and like a half because my 8-year-old was just pulling at my leg the whole time. So, but I get where you're going. Yeah.
I don't want to sell anybody short. I'm sure there's some guys out there that did really well, but we didn't see it. Another one, and I know you're a huge fan. George Hall.
Yeah, been a fan of his for a couple years now. He's been the starting quarterback at Colgan these last couple of years, and Colgan's another team that's been right on the verge of making their first ever playoff appearance under Coach Scott. They're and obviously he left, and they're moving on with Coach White. So hopefully, if George Hall's back into the fold and can lead the Sharks to their first ever playoff appearance, depending who they have coming back, But yeah, Hall, I'm not surprised at all. He stood out right away. The kid's been doing his thing for the last couple of years for them.
That's the one tough thing when you have a high school team that recruits. So I mean, the private school, and again, I come from a place where the private schools recruit like crazy. Is quarterback's the one spot that gets kind of tricky because only one guy is going to play.
Right.
Only one guy is going to play. And if you're really betting on yourself, for example, DJ Ugulele, when he went to St. John Bosco his freshman year, they brought in 7 quarterbacks that year. Now, by the end of camp, kids were like,
"Are you serious?"
Yeah, they brought in 7 quarterbacks that year.
That's crazy.
Wow. And they all, and by the end of camp though, they kind of looked around and most of them went back to whatever school they went to another school. But when you are an upper echelon type of private school and you recruit, you're going to bring in as many guys as you can. And quarterback's a tough one right there because you got to know pretty early whether or not you're going to play, and then you've got to decide what you're going to do. And I believe George Hall's a senior, correct?
Yeah, he is going to be a senior.
Yeah.
Senior. So I mean that's going to be a big decision for if you're looking to, and that's any school. If you're going to Matha, if you're going to Gonzaga, right? If you're going to what's the other one? St. Francis. If you're going to one of those types of schools, especially as a senior, you better be pretty sure you're going to start because there's really nowhere to go after that. So I mean,
yeah, it depends what you're looking for, right? I mean, it could be you could you bring the veteran in there, because it's going to be a big transition year for them over there at St. James, right? Getting used to everything and kind of getting. This is a multi-year build, right? It's going to take more than 1 year,
right?
So maybe you get a guy in there who's kind of been through some wars, right? Seen some stuff instead of going with the young guy right away. It depends on how they want to build it, right?
But I mean, yeah, but just that's the one spot, right? It's not like a running back or a linebacker or a DB or receiver where you can pay stuff in. Quarterback wise, I mean that once you get your guy, that's a guy you're gonna go with.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks, I mean, again, we're in alphabetical order here, at least on my list. One guy that really stood out, Jonah Howells, not Thurston Howells, the third, Jonah Howells. Jonah Howells wore number 13 and looked like a young Dan Marino out there. Actually, I mean, big guy, strong arm. I mean, he's only going to be a sophomore. And
okay.
Correct? Is he currently a freshman?
I think.
Yeah, he is. He's going to be a sophomore.
Yeah,
that's wild. He's got to be 6'3", 6'4", and he can throw it a country mile. He's over at Kettle Run right now.
I was just going to ask you that. Okay. Yeah.
And
big future, bright future.
He really does. So they got to figure that out. Again, going back to your point, Mesa, because nobody wants their guy to sit.
Right.
So you got to figure, do I want to bring this guy in? The young buck and go that way. Him, the Hayfield court. What did you say? The Hayfield quarterback from last year, French's backup. What was his name?
Antonio Gillen.
Yeah. I mean, and he's also he's going to be a junior, right?
He'll be a sophomore, I believe.
He's hold on. He's only a freshman too. Everybody's young.
Yeah, 2028. So he'll be a sophomore this year.
So that's even more so, right? You got two young bucks to pick from who are only freshmen right now, going to be sophomores. Do you go there? Do you go the veteran? They got decisions to make. They got tough decisions to make.
And are they going to carry a JV team, right? I mean, are they going to have enough people to carry a JV team? Because if you're the backup, let's say you are the sophomore, right? Let's say they bring in a senior to play right away. You're going to spend a year if they don't have a JV team, not playing. I mean, that's a big decision you got to make. So I mean,
right.
I know Coach Overton is shooting for the moon to try to have. I think he's trying to have 3 levels, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right? He's trying to have all
I think in the perfect world, he would have 3. Definitely wanted 2.
Yeah,
yeah. They had a good sized amount of kids for their junior high workout too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's going to be a slow build, especially with their schedule too, and that independent schedule. It's not like they get the Raiders every week. They got to play some real teams. It's going to be a battle. You can catch the dig there.
Still bitter about the 1980. This guy. Still bitter, huh? Yeah, and also I meant to ask Dio about the schedule. I had heard through the grapevine that there were some scheduling changes. I know he had mentioned to us.
It's in flux, right? Might be in
flux.
He
mentioned to us it's in flux. Maybe they're bringing some heavyweights from out west over.
Oh, really?
Maybe some Maryland teams are being switched out. So there's some things going on in flux. I meant to ask about that definitively and see what was going on, but I forgot. So
yeah, because they posted it a couple weeks ago, didn't they? Like a tentative one.
They did, but there were some little tweaks here and there that were going on.
Okay, gotcha.
That's the rumor. We don't know that that's true or not. We when we were there, we had heard that there may have been a hole in the schedule that may have opened back up that they may be putting a pretty big name in there. So
yeah, well, we'll ask him next time we see him. I'm sure we'll be seeing him soon. Matthew Holland.
He's
another
stud.
I mean, he's going to be a senior, another stud. Is that one of your guys?
This kid for St. Yeah, now Holland's I've been high on him for a couple years, playing for St. Michael's, the Archangel Warriors, and they're coming off a fantastic season too, where he had nearly 700 yards receiving, but he had, I believe, 6 interceptions as a junior. So wherever he ends up, he's a D1 kid, in my opinion.
Okay. Does he have any offers yet? Do we know?
I'm going to that's how I was checking his Twitter. I don't believe so yet. I believe a lot of interest, but no offers as of yet.
Okay, and then Matthew Moret, who we already talked about earlier, and we love Matthew Moret. We think he's a stud. And I know, again, talking to Coach Dio, he came over to Mason and I when we were talking about him, and he mentioned how much he loved him. So, and with his old coach over there, don't forget,
right?
From Mount Vernon, Coach Taylor's over there, so he definitely has a relationship with young Matthew there. So wouldn't be surprised if he definitely is on that roster. My guess.
I would expect those announcements in the next week or so, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think so too. Josiah Perry.
Yeah,
Perry.
Stud.
What's his deal? Where does he go to school, Carl?
I just had up. What's it called? Oh man, I'm Massaponics.
Is he Massaponic?
Massaponics. That's right.
Yeah, Pentatonics, something. Yeah, that's he's an all-region linebacker last year. He has a couple of Division I offers already, but they're really high on him. He had 70 tackles as a junior. He had over 1,000 all-purpose yards.
Wow.
So he does a lot of things for them. I'm looking at his offers now. I believe it. Yeah, he has one from Delaware already, and where's the second one from? I believe it is. Just going through his notes. Point is, he's a stud. Yeah, I know he has 2 offers because he posted the Delaware offer the other day, but he was on hand. And yeah, Perry's a stud.
Wow. Yeah, another big name there. Massaponics, that's a good program. All right, I got one for you here, and this is a tough one. If they lose this guy and George Hall, L.J. Richards from Colgan.
Well, actually, L.J. Richards is currently at Garfield.
You're right. I guess Colgan already did lose him, so never mind. But which, by the way, that's tough on Colgan. By the way, man, Colgan's, if they already having lost him and then losing and possibly losing their quarterback, that's tough to recover from.
Yeah, and Fortner was there. The Musselman brothers were there. that's even, yeah, it could be a rough go of things for Coach White in his first year there at Colgan.
Well, LJ Richards is an absolute stud.
Yeah. Old Dominion was
linebacker
the other
and-
one. For Perry, Old Dominion was the other school that's already offered him. But yeah,
Okay.
I had to track that down. It was going to kill me if I didn't know it.
Yeah. Another one. I'll say another two. This is 2 for Tuesday, gentlemen. 2 for Tuesday. The Thompson twins from Westfield.
Yeah, I thought they looked really impressive out there. I mean, they run well. They're crisp on their routes. I mean, they caught the ball well. I mean, and they look the role. I mean, they look the role. I mean, they look like, they look pretty put together.
Yeah, I know. Playing a little receiver. I guess they probably play a little more tight end in that offense over there at Westfield.
Yeah.
Coming, here and playing a little more receiver. But they look good. They look good.
No, they did.
Big
The one thing
bodies.
I'll say about the tryout, a lot of receivers, not a lot of DBs. I think we were watching one-on-ones, and there were 2 DBs doing one-on-ones, and there was like 25 receivers. I don't know, man.
That speaking, like, not to cut you off, like, just working these other showcases with like PrepRedzone and these other companies, that tends to happen a lot. Wherever he's like, kids they'd rather take reps at receiver than DB. So I don't, I've noticed that before too.
You can show your athleticism playing DB though. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd rather
Absolutely, I
get
agree.
50 reps at DB and let a coach see me be athletic 50 times as opposed to maybe catching a pass and then waiting, 15 minutes, in line until I get that chance catching that pass. But
no, I agree.
What do I know?
No, yeah, that Mason kept telling me. He was like, hey, if some of these guys want an offer, they should go and switch lines right now because there's only 2 guys in the other line.
And the 2 guys, is that college coaches notice that more. They notice the kids that are taking the extra reps that are tired. They're going to notice that more. As a kid who, gets like 10 minutes between each rep, for example.
Yeah, no, definitely. So that was kind of Art Mason and I's list. Any other names that stood out to you, Carl? Yeah,
Gordon Webb, who I believe was playing at Edison this past year. Big target for them. He's about 6'3", 200 pounds, good solid target. Watching his tape from this past year, he looks really comfortable off the line of scrimmage. I thought he, did well during the one-on-ones there on Sunday. He's a name to keep an eye on as well, too, another local product.
Okay.
Couple that definitely impressive showing by a lot of those guys. I'll be looking out for your second article there. I'm sure a lot of the kids are probably, on pins and needles between, reading Carl's write-up and then also getting these, I'm sure to come, these DMs or invites or whatever it is they're going to get that says that, they've been offered or whatever it is. I'm sure it'll be kind of exciting to kind of, I was thinking about it. Kind of reminds me of, we're all older guys now. You remember the Carolina Panthers and remember the expansion teams, the expansion draft?
Oh, the Jags.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? This is like the expansion draft kind of. You got a new team. You got all these guys. They're all trying out. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Right. It's a little football in March. Right. A little football in March.
Like when the Texans did that.
Yeah, that's right. I thought I was talking about Jacksonville, Carolina. I forgot all about that.
Yeah. Well, Carolina is so cool. Carolina and Jacksonville were cooler because didn't they both make like the championship games like 2 or 3 years after that happened?
Yeah, that's right. Good old
Kerry
Dom
Collins,
Capers and Tom Coughlin.
It was the Kerry Collins Panthers and the Brunel
it was Capers and Coughlin.
Yeah.
So and what do you before you came on, Carl, we talked about some of our overall takeaways of the event. We thought it was well run, all that kind of stuff. What kind of you got any takeaways from the event?
Yeah, I was a lot happier than the last time I was on, with you guys. Yeah.
Look, they didn't charge you this time, Carl. They did not get charged.
No, they were great. I love what they're building there. And St. James, the whole atmosphere was great. I was coming from like both my kids had their flag football assessments in Vienna, and so they were tired. And we went up. Shout out to Coach Essa. We met up with him right away, and he said, "Hey, go get something to eat. Calm down. Because he could tell my kids were tired." And we did that, and we met up with Coach O. We saw you guys. The atmosphere was great. Just positive vibes all day. I really like what Coach O is building there. I agree with you guys. It's going to take a couple years, especially playing that tough schedule they're going to have. But I like what they're building there, and I think Loudon Sports Academy is doing something really cool too. So we'll have to investigate that more.
Yeah, for sure. Couple other tidbits, guys. Couple other tidbits. Kind of moving on a little bit. There was some coaching news.
Yeah.
Some NoVA coaching news, and we're gonna jump into it, right? So one, Coach Holland from York. He was at Yorktown, then he was at Edison the last couple of years, and he just got hired as the New Mount Vernon head coach. So congratulations!
Yeah, congrats to him. He just tweeted that out.
He did. He did just tweet that out. And so I think he's going to do good things there. I think that's a good background. A, coming from Yorktown, and then B, being at Edison, so he's kind of familiar with the national, right? And familiar with a lot of his opponents over there. I think that's good things. That's a good hire there for them. And he's a fan of the show, so we always appreciate Coach Holland and his comments. Other stuff out there now. There's some rumors that some schools have kind of made their decision. So one, nothing's confirmed. No one's confirming anything. But the word we've heard is that start with Hayfield. Hayfield is waiting. Hayfield's waiting to make a hire up until they're going to wait till later in spring. That's the word we're getting. We're hearing maybe around May.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't really. They're kind of freeze where they're at right now. Kids are working out, and and Coach Overton's still doing some of the workouts for him. And Mason, you had some thoughts about that.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool that he continued to kind of work those.
That is awesome.
He didn't just kind of leave them high and dry, so kind of has them going. So I thought that was pretty cool.
So they're still waiting. Rumors, whatever. There's a few candidates that they've kind of frozen it, and they're kind of waiting. I guess for a DSA hire or whatever they got to do to make sure that goes through. So that's kind of one of the rumors. Obviously, no one's going to confirm that. Other rumor is that maybe South County has made a hire, and I don't want to get into that
But there's nothing confirmed yet. We heard a name.
Yeah,
we heard a name, but we asked a couple more people, and they're like, "Well, we don't know." And so we thought it was a solid, and then all of a sudden it turned to, "Well, we're not sure." So
right.
But my guess, I guess they'll announce that pretty soon.
Yeah, that definitely should be announced soon.
Yeah.
So waiting on that one. That'll be interesting to see. It could be very interesting to see. To see where they go there. I did, talk to, you talk about the coaches that are still out there, and who I think, probably this cycle's probably done now for the most part, right?
Although there's always that sneaky one that shows up like in April.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I hope there's not one. I mean, you don't.
But every year, right? Last year was not Edison. Last year was Justice.
Justice that late last year?
Yeah, it was super late. It was like May.
Well, some of these hires are taking forever.
Yeah, and then what was? I think it might be one the year before that. Annandale, maybe it might have been Annandale the year before that. Like Annandale.
Yeah, well, there's a good coach out there, a good coach with I think 78 career wins, named Coach Aziz.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's a heck of a head coach, and someone's going to get a good one. A couple of the jobs out there. The Virginia Academy's hiring. Virginia Academy out in that's out in Prince William, right?
That's in Ashburn.
That was in Loudon. Okay, it's in Loudon. But that's where Coach Woods was. You mentioned them earlier. Before Coach Woods went over to.
Did you say they have a hire?
They're in the process of making a hire. They've got some interviews, and
cool.
They're down to their final kind of candidates here. We'll see what happens. I've heard some names there. We'll kind of wait and see what happens there. All types of drama. Never a slow day in Northern Virginia, gentlemen. Never a slow day.
It's nonstop. It's nonstop here, man. I'm used to Lancaster, where it's just boring. No, just kidding. Not really, but so much fun. So much more fun here in Northern Virginia.
Yeah, they make great chairs and stuff, and great desserts. They do make great desserts. I just had some recently. I was at a farmer's market, and there was it was an Amish pie thing.
Yeah, you guys get an all Hitches whoopie pie. Get that going. You already got the sandwich. Get a whoopie pie.
You're right. Next time I go to the farmer's market, I'm going to talk to the Amish pie lady, and I'm going to say, hey, can we get an all Hitches?
They won't respond. It's pretty good.
Look, so yeah, exciting things all around in Northern Virginia. I can't wait. Can't wait for and we're approaching 7-on-7 season.
We are.
Yeah, I'm going to be at 7-on-7 for. I've been Upper Marlboro this weekend with PrepRedzone, and the 7-on-7 season is, as you guys know, in full swing. That's going to start popping off all over, not just Northern Virginia, but the East Coast here the next couple months. Then we'll have spring ball. I mean, colleges are starting spring ball already, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They really are.
But some of them got rid of like the spring game. Like there's schools now that don't even do it anymore.
Is that going to be like the new thing?
Yeah, they just kind of got rid of them
because they're worried about like the portal and stuff. Is that why they're doing
that's
that?
it. They're worried. They're worried that kids will do well in the spring game, and then I saw this thing with who's the head coach of UConn now? Hurley.
Mora.
Hurley. Is it UConn?
For football?
No, you're talking about basketball. You said Hurley.
Yeah, Danny Hurley.
Danny Hurley. So he was talking about how half of his team has already been in contact with other schools negotiating NIL deals. Half his team right now, are fairly certain they're not going to be at UConn next year because they're currently in negotiation with other teams. And so I think that's where the spring game's coming from, because now they're going to have film, and then at the end of spring. So I've seen it happen. So there was a kid in Long Beach, Jordan Washington, who went to University of Arizona, graduated early, went there for the spring game, hadn't played it down for them yet, other than the spring game, and then went to University of Washington because he had good film, and they offered him there. So they moved on. And so I think they're scared that you have a good spring game that the kids will just leave.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, the landscape's changing. Everything's changing. It's all different now, man. It's all different.
You live with the upside down.
Couple shout outs here. One, Coach Craig, fan of the show. Such a fan of the show that the man owns several All Hitches
He
t-shirts.
does.
Okay, when we sold our All Hitches shirts around the holidays, the man bought one for the family. We had each one for the family. He was going to do a Christmas card, I think, with wearing their All Hitches shirts. So congratulations. They are making the run. They're kind of I like it, the Cinderella story right now. Making the run. They're playing South Lakes on Saturday in the state final, 6A state final.
Two teams from Fairfax are going to drive an hour and a half to go play each other.
Well, that's ridiculous. But all NoVA representing, right? Look, let's be honest. NoVA, we should have won the 6A state title in football. Okay. Yeah. For that, ref helmet stuff. They score and win that game. And then you got to the South Lakes or Woodson in basketball. So you got to love it.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Coach Craig and your Woodson Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, fun time as always.
Yeah.
Fun time as always. And next week we got a great one. I'm gonna get a little teaser. Your little teaser. We decided to go. We went deep into Vienna for next week's show. And next week's show, we are interviewing none other. People asked for it, and they're going to get it. We got Coach Slay in next week's show.
Yeah, Coach Slay. Fantastic season last year, and a really interesting guy. We really enjoyed the interview.
Yeah, so that's next week's show. Well, guys, go enjoy a nice 70-degree day outside. Go get a nice coffee and enjoy yourselves.
Thanks for having me on, fellas. I appreciate
always.
It. Hey,
and we could be
owe me the showcase in May. You guys owe me.
We very well could. I'll tell you what. You talk to the Godfather, because we're going to be getting. If we might be wearing PrepRedzone sponsored hats soon. We're going to have PrepRedzone on one badge here, NFHS on another badge,
PrepRedzone
Celebrity Deli on the back. We're going to look like NASCAR. We're going to look like NASCAR drivers.
As long as we get the whoopie pies, they all hit the whoopie pies. That's all we need. Then we're good.
I'll tell you what. If that happens, we get that. If PrepRedzone comes to their senses and decides to, look, they know where the audience is right here. The parents are right here. The parents pay the subscriptions, and the parents are right here. This is what the parents are. So we got to tell the Godfather the parents are right here, and this is where they need to be. So we will be wearing the hat, and we'll be. Remember when Rob Lowe was at the football game and Rob Lowe wore the NFL hat, just an NFL on the front. We'll be there wearing the PrepRedzone hat, like Rob Lowe.
Sounds good.
All right, fellas. Well, from the Adam Schefter of NoVA, Carl Frederick, Mesa, and Dash, we'll see you guys next time on All Hitches.
See ya.
Take care, boys.
Right. See you, buddy.